Dear pupils, parents and guardians, let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to break the learning laws during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At Lasubeb, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello pupils, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home. A program sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb. It is to ensure that you're academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me your wonderful teachers, the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje.
Hello, children.
That's your math teacher. And your popular teacher, Uncle Popo.
Hello, puppies.
He's going to be taking you through general studies. And we have our active sign language interpreter in the house, Uncle Wale. Together,
we are bringing the classroom into your home.
Please stay tuned. Studies lesson today, we are going to look at the concluding part of preposition. Preposition part 2. You know, we started with preposition in our last lesson. So we are going further into preposition. But before we go into the learning objective for today, let's have the correction to our previous homework. You were asked to pick out the preposition in each of the sentences. The money was shared among 5 boys. Before we go into that, did you do your homework at all? So many people did not submit their homework. I noticed that. Are you one of them? Please always ensure that you do your homework. No homework, no good life magic juice. So let's do the correction and let's mark together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 8. Are you sure? I got 8 out of 8. You did the same too. Oh, bravo. Good job, you. You deserve to be celebrated with a chair. Well done. Now to the learning objective for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to use nouns, adjectives, and verbs with suitable prepositions correctly. You should be able to use nouns, adjectives, and verbs with suitable prepositions correctly. Don't forget, we started with preposition in our last lesson. What's with suitable prepositions? We're going to look at words with suitable prepositions and their meaning, their explanation and their meaning. Look at this word, Abide by. Abide by. What does it mean? It means to obey laws or agreement. It means to obey laws or agreement. Look at the sentence. You must abide by the school's rules and regulations. You must abide by the school rules and regulation. Abide by. Abide and by. The preposition there is by, but they are coming together as two words, abide by, which means to obey laws or agreements. Let's move on. Apply for. Apply for. To put in for something, especially in writing. Apply for means to put in for something, especially in writing. Look at this example. My brother applied for the job in that company. My brother applied for the job in the company. Beware of. Beware of. It means to be cautious of something or somebody. To be cautious of something or somebody. Look at the sentence. You need to beware of a barking dog. You need to beware of a barking dog. Why? Because it is dangerous. Yes, you have to be cautious of a barking dog. This is another one. Call at a place. Call at a place. It means to make a short visit to a place. To make a short visit to a place. Not you going there to spend a week or 2 weeks. We're talking about a short visit. Call at a place. Look at this example. Would you like to call at my place on your way back? Would you like to call at my place on your way back? Let's move on. Carry on. Carry on. What does it mean? It means to continue in spite of interruption. To continue in spite of interruption. An example is, despite the noise, she carried on with her speech. Despite the noise, she carried on with her speech. Another word with suitable preposition is eliminate from. Eliminate from. It means to remove or get rid of. To remove or get rid of. Look at the sentence. Eliminate the mistake from your writing. This simply means remove the mistake or get rid of the mistake from your writing. Eliminate from. It means to remove or get rid of. Let's look at another one. Liable for. Liable for. It simply means responsible for. Responsible for. And here is an example. The police is liable for the man's death. The police is liable for the man's death. It means that the police is responsible for the man's death. Now, prefer to. Prefer to. It means to like one thing more than another. To like one thing more than another. Look at the sentence. I prefer English studies to mathematics. How many of you prefer English studies to mathematics? So many of you. Oh, good. Prefer to means to like one thing more than another. Rely on. Rely on. It means to depend on. To depend on something. Look at the sentence. You can't rely on your parents forever in life. And that's a statement of fact. You cannot rely on your parents forever in life. They cannot be responsible for your feeding for life. They cannot be responsible for your shelter for life. One day you have to leave and stay or be on your own. So rely on means to depend on. You cannot depend or rely on your parents forever in life. Think of. Think of. It means to consider seriously before taking a decision. To consider seriously before taking a decision. Look at the sentence. We are thinking of going to Abuja for our holidays. We are thinking of going to Abuja for our holidays. Are you still looking forward to traveling for an holiday? I don't think that is possible any longer. But this is the sentence. We are thinking of going to Abuja for our holidays. Persist in. Persist in. That means to continue despite warning or opposition. To continue doing something despite warning or opposition. If you persist in breaking the law, you will be punished. That is a sentence. If you persist in breaking the law, you will be what? You will be punished. That is if you continue breaking the law. If you continue breaking the law despite warning, you will be punished. Proceed with. Proceed with. This means to continue doing something. Please proceed with your story. Auntie Fumi, please proceed with the lesson. Children, please proceed with your program. So, proceed with means to continue. It's activity time. Having listened to words with suitable prepositions, it is time to check how attentive you have been in the course of this lesson. It is evaluation time. Use the following in your own sentence or in your own sentences. Use the following in your own sentences. Number one, prefer to. Don't use my example. Use yours, yeah. Prefer to. Number two, liable for. Number three, rely on. Number four, grateful for. And number five, abide by. 1 minute to do that, and your time starts now. Eyes on me. By now, you should have finished giving me 5 sentences. 5 sentences. I know your sentences will definitely vary, but then you must have something close to this. Look at my examples or the sentences I made. Prefer to. I prefer to work than to sleep all day. I prefer to work than to sleep all day. That means I like to work than or more than to sleep all day. Liable for. You will be liable for the choices you make. You will be liable for the choices you make. Number 3, rely on. Do not rely on what is said. He is not honest. Do not rely on what he said. He is not honest. Number 4, grateful for. I am grateful for the gift of life. I am grateful for the gift of life. And the last sentence, abide by. If you must live in this house, you must abide by my rules. If you must live in my house, you must abide by my rules. How many of you have something very close to this? Are you sure? I must celebrate you with a cheer. Well done. Good job, you. It is homework time. No homework, no pack of Good Life magic juice. You are to use the following in your own sentences. Use the following in your own sentences. Number 1, proceed with. 2, apply for. 3, persist in. 4, full of. And number 5, call at a place. I want you to use them in your own sentences, and I want you to submit to the designated or dedicated number. I want you to submit as soon as possible. I don't like a situation where I will give you an assignment today and you will submit that same assignment next week. Be prompt with it. And that's it for today. We have come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed learning words with suitable prepositions. I did too. It is time to hand you over to the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje, for the mathematics lesson. But don't forget, I am always proud of you. Well done, children.
Hello, children. You are welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time, and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics, we will continue our work on percentages. I'm sure that by now you know that percentages are very easy to handle. Today we will now discuss another angle to percentages, and that is percentages as fractions. But we will not begin that work without checking out the ones that you were asked to do at home, which is your homework. We'll begin by looking at the correction. You were asked to change all these percentages to fractions. We have 32%, 65%, and 3/1/3%. So without wasting much time, we'll just go right into them. To change 32% to a fraction, we just write 32% as 32 per 100. That's 32 over 100. Then we reduce it to the lowest term, terms. I'll select a pen here. Now, 4 goes here, okay. Where is the, yes. Okay, now 4 goes here, 8, and 4 goes here, 25. And these are the lowest terms, so my friend, our final answer is 8 over 25. I'm sure that you got that one because that one was very easy. Second one is also easy as well. To change 65% to a fraction is just to write 65% as 65 per 100, and then dividing by 5. 5 goes here, 1 remaining 1. 5 goes here, 3. Then 5 goes in 120 times. 13 and 20, these are the lowest terms. And so our final answer will be 13 all over 20. I'm sure that you got that one too. The one that may want to pose a problem is the last one. That is to change 3/1/3% to a fraction. But we'll follow it the same principle that we've been adopting. 3/1/3% is 3/1/3 per 100. But now you have to change that 3/1/3 to an improper fraction, and you have 10 over 3. Then you bring that down, and you have 10 over 3 times 100. And then you have 10 all over 300. Now zeros can cancel zeros. Now you have 1 to 30, and that is the lowest term. So the final answer should be 1 over 30. And I'm sure that that is what you got to, my friend. Excellent job, you. For that, you get my chair. Now, moving on to today's work. Of course, we already see that percentages are also another way of writing fractions, but with a denominator of 100. So what are the expected learning outcomes? By the end of today's lesson, now you will be able to write fractions as percentages. We introduced that in the previous class, so we're just going to work in details today. You're going to express your own test scores in percentage form. When you get a test score in school, you have to be able to convert that to percentages. And then you are going to express one quantity as a percentage of another. Let's just move right into it. These are very easy things for you to do. Now, percentages are everywhere around us. We see them on a daily basis. You may not know that they are there. The commonest example that I can give you is the battery of your mommy's phone. You say your battery is on 15%, it's only on 3%. It doesn't mean that it will work for 3 minutes or 15 minutes. What it means is that compared to the whole full charge, the battery has just 3 out of 100 parts for the whole full charge. Okay, that's what it means. And you also have percentages on your nutritional bottles, like this one now. It says that this the contents of this bottle has sodium to be 20%. That does not mean that when you open it, you'll find 20 sodium capsules there. What it means is that if you divide everything that is inside this bottle into 100 parts, sodium occupies 20 parts. And then you have it in the store where you go to buy things, you see them all around you. We're going to walk in details with these later. Now, percentages are very useful when it comes to comparing quantities. For example, these are the scores of Umar and Z. Remember Umar and Z? These are the scores of Umar and Z in different tests. Now, Umar came to me and says, Uncle Agbaje, I scored 14 over 20. Z comes to me and says, Uncle Agbaje, I scored 34 out of 50. And they're asking me, who performed better? You know what Z is claiming? She has performed better than Umar. But it's going to be difficult for me to know who performed better, because Umar got 14 out of 20 and Z got 34 out of 50. These are different totals, okay? So the best thing for me to do is, if I change both of them to percentage, the totals will now be 100, and then I'll be able to see who actually scored the higher mark. And that's what we're going to do today. Instead of arguing, say 14 out of 20 is better than 34 out of 50, or 34 out of 50 is better than 14 out of 20, we change everything to percentages so that they both have totals of 100. Then we see what each person has scored in percentage form. So that's what we're going to do. Let's say, so 14 over 20 for Umar, I have to take it to a percentage of over 100. 34 over 50 for Z, I have to take it to over 100. But who do you think performed better? Z, right? Umar? Let's see. So let's start with Umar converting his own. Now, what do I multiply with 20 to give me 100? Of course, that will be 5. So 20 times 5 gives me 100, and I have to multiply 14 by 5. 14 times 5, I will get 70. Let's check out Z's own. So in this case, 50 multiplied by 2 will give me 100. So I have to multiply 34 by 2. And 34 times 2, my friend, will give us 68. So now we see that Umar gets 70 out of 100, and that's 70%. And Z gets 68%. So who actually performed better? Obviously, is Umar. Without the percentages, we may not have been able to compare them. So you can see how percentages are useful. Just convert the fraction to percent, and it will be easy for you to compare things. Sometimes when you are asked to arrange fractions and you don't want to use the method that we have taught you before, you can convert all the fractions to percentages. Then you'll be able to see which one is the highest. Okay. That is that about that. Now, quantities can be expressed as percentages of other similar quantities. You know, just as we're able to use ratio to compare two things and fractions to compare two things and say this one is a part of this one, we can also use percentages like that. For example, this fruit basket, there are 30 apples in there. Now, 13 of them are bad. 13 of the apples are bad. We are to find the percentages of the percentage of the apples that is good. The percentage of good apples is what we're expected to find. So in a basket of 30 apples, if 13 are bad, how many are good? Did you say 17? Excellent job, you. 17 apples are good. What we now need to find is 17 in relation to the whole number of apples there. What percentage is that? So we are to write what percentage of the apples, the whole 30 apples, are good. So now 17 out of 30 apples are good. That is 17 per 30, or 17 over 30. We need to write this as a percentage. So the moment we are able to write it as a fraction, we can already convert it to a percentage, because we have been taught how to change fractions to percentages. So let's just see it in action. 17 out of 30. But the problem is that 30 is not a factor of 100. There's no way I can write 30 and multiply by something that's a whole number and get 100. That's the problem. Okay, it's not 50. If it is 50, I'll just multiply by 2. So what are we going to do? Well, let's see. 17 out of 30. If I'm not able to change it to 100, well, I can change it to, well, give it a denominator of 300. Okay, and that's why I'm multiplying by 10. Now the idea is that if I can't change it to, like we did in the last lesson, when we had 15.5 over 100, and we did not know what it is as a fraction. 100 was not working for us because we did not see the full whole picture. So we tried 200. If that one did not work, we would have tried 300 and 400 until we'll get to a hole at the top. And in this case, we're going to do the same thing. If we can't get 30 to get to 100, we have to get to 200. But 30 cannot go in 200. You know what? Don't disturb yourself, my friend. Just make sure that we have another zero. We have 2 zeros at the bottom, and it's going to be easy for you to work with. So to have 2 zeros at the bottom, we have to multiply 30 with 10, and that will give us 300. And then if we have to multiply the bottom with 10, then the top 2 has to be multiplied with 10. And then we get 170 over 300. So in this case, it's going to be easy for us to now reduce 300 back to 100 because, well, as you will say. So from here, we have gotten 17 over 30, and that is the same thing as 170 over 300. We now have 2 zeros at the bottom. So now see what we're going to do. We have to reduce the 300 now back to 100 because we want to change to percentage, and percentage means per 1000. Okay, so if we're taking 300 to 100, that means we are dividing by 3. And if we divide the bottom by 3, we have to divide the top as well by 3. And so we got 56 to third. But how did that happen? 300 by 3 is 100, obviously. Now look at 170 divided by 3. 3 goes here, 1. 3 goes here. 5 times remainder 2. 3 goes in 20. 6 times remainder 2. And we are dividing by 3. That is 56 to third. And so the final percentage is 56 to third out of 100. And that means that 56 to third percent of the apples is good. That's the percentage of the apples. It is good. Okay, so let's check out another example here. Consider this problem. In Uncle Popo's class, there are 16 boys and 25 girls. 16 boys, 25 girls. What percentage of the girls are the boys? What percentage of the girls are the boys? Okay, so how do we solve this problem? Well, we know that there are 16 boys and 25 girls. What is the question say? What percentage of the girls are the boys? And I have told you how to interpret this question. What percentage are the boys? So we really are interested in the percentage of the boys, but in relation to the girls. And so the boys, we're interested in the percentage of the boys in relation to the girls. And so the boys are 16 and the girls are 25. And so the ratio of the boys to girls is 16 to 25. And in terms of fraction, that is 16 over 25. So observe the way I did this. I used the ratio to convert it to a fraction. And you know that from fraction, we can just go straight to percentages. Okay, so the ratio of the boys to girls, because we really need that of the boys. The ratio of boys in relation to the girls is 16 to 25, and that is 16 over 25. And this is the fraction that we must change to a percentage, because the question says, what percentage? So now, what we do, my friend, is we have to scale it up to 100 in the denominator. Now 25, what do we multiply by 25 to give us 100? 25 is a factor of 100. We're going to multiply 4. Excellent. So 25 times 4 is 100. How about 16 times 4? Because we have to multiply denominator and numerator from our work on equivalent fractions. So 16 times 4 will give us 64. Okay, and that means that the boys are 64 out of 100. 64% of the girls. The boys are 64% of the girls. Now, it is your turn. Let's see whether you're going to be able to apply what you have learned. You have to solve these questions, and you have 1 minute 30 seconds. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done, my friend. We are to write 12 centimeters as a percentage of 25 centimeters. Let's just see how that is done. 12 centimeters as a percentage of 25 centimeters. First, you have to write it in fraction form. That's 12 centimeter over 25 centimeter. Then you change it to percentage straight away. So, but before that, we do not need the centimeters, okay? Centimeters, we cancel out each other because they are not relevant here. Now, what do we multiply by 25 to give us 100? Of course, we are multiplying 4, and that means we also multiply 12 by 4, and 12 times 4 will give us 48, and that is 48 out of 100. So that is 48%. 12 centimeter is 48% of 25 centimeters. Is that what you got, my friend? Of course, that's what you got, because this one is easy peasy. But let's check out the second one. That lady scored 25 out of 40 in a test. She scored 25 out of 40. What is a percentage score? You know, sometimes your teachers in school, they use this a lot. You do a test over 20 and they're telling you got 45%. You're thinking, but the total score is 20. It doesn't mean your score is 45. It means if we scale it up to 100, you have scored 45 out of 100. So, the lady scored 25 out of 40 in a test. What is a percentage score? And of course, you have to write that as a fraction. 25 out of 40, then you multiply it by 10 because we want 2 zeros in the denominator. And then you have 250 over 400. But we have to reduce this one back to 100, okay? So we have 250 over 400. What do we divide 400 with to get 100? Of course, we're going to divide that with 4. And so if we divide this with 4, we divide this with 4. So 400 divided by 4 will give us 100. How about 250 divided by 4? Let's do that quickly here. 250 divided by 4. 4 goes here 1, 4 goes here 6, I believe. Yes. Remainder 1. 4 goes in 10, 2 times. Remainder 2 all over 4. But this is not the lowest form of the fraction. We still have 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 2. And so invariably we are left with 62 and half. That is what's going to be on top here, 62 and half. As you can see, the 62 and half. So let me clean all that up. And finally, the percentage of a score is 62 and half per 100, and that is percent. Is that what you got to? Excellent, my friend. Now it's time for your homework, which is coming up right about now. Copy this in 30 seconds, but do not go away, because you know what today is? Magic Tuesday. We're back with that. Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of the program. It is Magic Tuesday, where I show you a lot of shortcuts in mathematics. Have you missed Magic Tuesday? I have to, and I'm delighted to be back with today's magic. Today we will learn how to multiply large numbers by 9. I love 9, it's a magic number. We will learn how to multiply large numbers by 9 without even multiplying at all. We will just be subtracting. Are you interested in how it's done? Let's see the first example. This example says multiply 89 by 9. So what do? Without wasting time, we write 89 times 9 and leave the space for the answer blank. Then we bring down 89 and add 0 to it. That's 890. Then we subtract 89. See? What do we get? We get 801. And that is our final answer, my friend. It's as simple as that. Bring down the number, add 0 and subtract the number. And what you get is your answer. Let's see another example. This one says multiply 728 by 9. Again, you write out your answer, leave the space for your answer blank, then bring out 728, add 0 and subtract 728. Then you get 6,552, and that is your answer, my friend. It's as simple as that. And you know what? This trick works for all numbers, no matter how large they are. Let's see one final example. This one says multiply 4,259 by 9. And on the surface of it, you're thinking, what a huge number. Well, it's going to take you 5 seconds to do this, my friend. Just write your number, leave the space for the answer, bring 4,259 down, add 0, subtract that same number from 8. What you get is what you get. You get 38,331, and that is your final answer, my friend. Mathematics, I just love it. That's it for today, my friend. Till I come your way in the next lesson, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye now.
Hello pupils, you are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Good. 100% attention is what I need you to give me in today's lesson. Our subject for today is social studies. In our last lesson in social studies, we talked about influence of foreign culture on our cultural values. There we talked about education, religion, music, and we talked about the causes of this. Then today we are moving on to a new topic in social studies, and that is religious intolerance in Nigeria. Say that. Religious intolerance in Nigeria. The learning objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to define religion and religious intolerance. You should be able to state causes of religious intolerance. Lastly, you should be able to explain how to control religious intolerance in Nigeria. First of all, let's define what religion is. Before that, we have the symbol of different religions that we have. This shows the one for Christians. This one shows the one for Muslim, and because these are the two prominent types of religions in Nigeria, although we practice 3 types, and the third one you shall see in the course of this lesson. Now, what is religion? Religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal God, spelled capital letter G-O-D, or gods, spelled with small letter G-O-D-S. Let me pick it again. Religion is the belief in and worship of superhuman controlling power. That means somebody has to believe in and worship that superhuman controlling power. That means the thing or what the person believes in should be able to have superhuman controlling power. Especially, you can take it as your personal God, as in capital letter G-O-D or small letter G-O-D-S. That's religion, the belief in and worship of superhuman controlling power. Now let's look at this picture showing Christians in the church. Those of you that are Christians, you know what I'm talking about. This is the place of worship. This is a church where we have Christians worshiping. And this is Muslims here in the mosque. So the Muslims could testify today because they've been going to mosques and they worship Allah. Likewise, the third type of religion, the traditional worshippers, and they also worship their different gods. Some worship Obatala, Ogun, Amadioha. We have them like that. Those ones are small gods spelled with small letter G-O-D-S. These traditional worshippers. Now, we want to focus our attention on religious intolerance. Say religious intolerance. Good. What do we mean by that? Religious intolerance is the act of rejecting the practices of any religion other than the one that person is practicing. Let me take it again. Religious intolerance is the act of rejecting the practices of any religion other than the one that person is practicing. What are the causes? 1, ethnicity. Ethnicity is one of the causes of religious intolerance. What do I mean by ethnicity? Some religions are dominated by some ethnic groups. Therefore, some religious groups see people from other ethnic groups not practicing their religion as antagonists. We cannot deny the fact that we have some ethnic groups that are dominated in a certain religion. Then they see other ethnic group from another place not practicing their religion as their enemy, as the kind of people they cannot relate with, as the kind of people they don't want to have anything to do with them. That is ethnicity. It's happening in Nigeria. So we move on to the next one. Another cause of religious intolerance is ignorance. Say that. Ignorance. Many people do not tolerate other people's religions because they lack knowledge and facts about those religions. They therefore see other religious groups as people with negative views. Ignorance is another cause of religious intolerance, because we have many people that do not have some facts to prove or back their own belief or what they cherish most. And because of that, they fight other people. Next one is poverty. Say that. Poverty is another cause of religious intolerance. As a result of increasing poverty, poor people are easily enticed with generous rewards for them to be available for participation in religious riots. Yes, this is another cause, because we have some poor people. One rich man from one side can just call them and give them some money to cause religious riots where demand that gave them the money want the riot to be effected. So they would take it and started causing trouble because of poverty. So poor people are easily enticed with generous reward for them to be available for participation in religious riots. That's another cause. Poverty is one of the causes. How religious intolerance can be controlled in Nigeria. We have different ways by which this religious intolerance can be controlled in Nigeria. So let's check those ways. One is education. Say that. Education. Like we have now, the kind of the teaching or learning we are having now is one of it, because we are trying to let you know that religious intolerance could be avoided. Now you have gotten to know some facts about different types of religions, because everybody has freedom to choose whether to be a Christian, whether to be a Muslim, whether to be a traditional worshipper. So far, the law of the land allows them, so they are free to operate. So in education, in your schools, you will be told in different topics, in different subjects. You will be educated to know more about religions, and having full knowledge about it, it will help us to control religious intolerance. Next one is legislation. Say that. Legislation. We are talking about the laws that will prevent people from going into religious riots. Although in Nigeria we have the law stating the punishment for those that are involving in religious riots. But what we are saying here now, we want it to be strictly enforced, so that people that are into it will stay away from causing it. So legislation is another way to avoid religious intolerance in Nigeria. Moving on to the next one, that's the use of mass media. When we talk about mass media, we are talking about radio, television, and other means. But here, radio and television should have programs that promote religious tolerance by educating people about beliefs of various religions. Yes, through this, we can avoid the religious intolerance in Nigeria. Through the use of mass media, there are special programs that promote religious tolerance, and there people will be educated about beliefs of various religions. The beliefs of various religions are different. Their beliefs are the Christian, the Muslim, the traditional worshippers, they have their different beliefs. So people should understand their beliefs and relate and tolerate them. The use of mass media is another way to avoid religious intolerance. Now, moving on to the official position of religion in Nigeria. To some, Nigeria is for Christians. To some, Nigeria should be for Muslims. To some, traditional worshippers should dominate Nigeria. But let's look at official position of religion in Nigeria. Nigeria is a secular state. What do we mean by that? This means that Nigeria has no official religion which everybody is expected to belong to. In some countries, they have official religion that everybody is expected to practice. But here in Nigeria, no. Nigeria has no official religion which everybody is expected to belong to. Not only for Christians, not only for Muslims, not only for traditional worshippers, it's for everybody. So people are free to belong to any religion of their choice. You are free to belong to any religion of your choice. Be it Christian, you want to be a Muslim, a practicing one, or you decide to be a traditional worshipper. We should not just talk about Christians and Muslims are living the third aspect of the religion. So far it's still existing, we should let you know that we have people that are traditional worshippers. It's the third type of religion. In other words, there is freedom of worship in Nigeria. Freedom of worship. You are free to worship whatever you believe in. So when you see the traditional worshippers doing their own thing, the law permits them to do so. So they are free to choose and belong to any religion you decide to practice. It's time for evaluation. Now I have 3 questions to test you and see how you have given me your 100% attention in today's lesson. Question number 1. What do you understand by religious intolerance? Question number 2. List 3 causes of religious intolerance. Number 3. List 2 ways religious intolerance can be controlled. You have 1 minute to do that. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is here. I believe you are still there. So let's mark the, let's check the answers together. What do you understand by religious intolerance? Religious intolerance is the act of rejecting the practices of any religion other than the one the person is practicing. That's religious intolerance. Causes of religious intolerance: ethnicity, ignorance, poverty, misleading religious leadership, and so on. 2 ways by which religious intolerance can be controlled: through education, through legislation, the use of mass media, and all what we have discussed in today's lesson. Mark accordingly and rate yourself. If you scored more than, or if you scored up to 80%, I give you a chair. And if you scored from 60% above, you also deserve to be given a chair. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another wonderful edition of The Classroom in Your Home.
We hope that you have had fun learning with us, because we have had fun teaching you today. Now, the link for today's online assessment is bit.ly/Lasubeb lesson 65. The link again is bit.ly/Lasubeb lesson 65. Now, do not forget that you can also access our online collection of tests by visiting the link bit.ly/Lasubeb tests, and there you will find all our previous tests from test 1 to Desk 65.
Taking the online assessment or online test is based on if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, your uncle's, or your auntie's Android or smartphone. If not, there's no problem. Just send your SMS or WhatsApp message or messages to 081 50 86 5663. Please do not call that number. WhatsApp or SMS messages only. When you're submitting your assignment, please make sure you indicate your name,
Your school,
Your class.
and your local government. That is the only way we can identify you to be able to appraise you accordingly. Okokoko.
Today's lessons and previous lessons are on Lasubeb YouTube channel for you to watch, and you can subscribe to Lasubeb YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The classroom in your home could be watched live on Facebook through the page showing on the screen.
Until our next lesson, when we shall meet again for another beautiful edition of the classroom in your home, always do your assignments,
Wash your hands regularly.
keep studying and
stay safe. Lasubeb,
Leave no child behind.
This is to inform the general public that registration of children for admission into Nursery 1 and Primary 1 will commence in all public nursery and primary schools in Lagos State from Monday 21st September through to Friday 23rd October 2020. The minimum registration age for Primary 1 is 6 years. That is, only children born between 1st April 2014 and 31st March 2015 whose parents or guardians are residents in Lagos State are qualified for registration. Application for registration should be obtained from the head teachers of all public nursery and primary schools in the state. Parents and guardians should register in the school nearest to their homes. Registration is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Application forms must be accompanied by 3 passport-sized photographs of the child, birth certificate of the child, evidence that parent or guardian is resident in Lagos State, that is your LASRA registration card, parent or guardian's tax clearance. Completed application form must be submitted to the head teacher of the school from where it was obtained and must reach him or her on or before Friday, 23rd October 2020. No late registration will be considered. Parents are advised not to register at more than one center. Note, registration is free. Announcer, Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb.